Hello and welcome to another coffee bean review for www.getbean.com. I'm the Mean Bean Machine and today we're looking at Minor Figures Coffee Double Origin Espresso. So I've used Minor Figures before. They're a great little website. They sell kind of oat milk and chai lattes and beans, and they're kind of focused on getting the best out of the kind of homebrew coffee, I guess, making the best coffee you can. I've also reviewed kind of cold brew coffees that they sell in a can, that I'm a kind of a big fan of, but this is their first kind of their own brand coffee I've tried. They have a thing where they sell coffee from different roasters all over the place that they kind of quite like, and they change those up fairly regularly. But this is their own coffee, the Double Origin Espresso, which I also believe is kind of seasonal. I believe they change that up within kind of the seasons as well. And it's quite hard to get kind of information about this one because, as far as I can tell, I've just kind of been told it's two South American coffees blended into one. There is a bit of information on the box. I mean, for one, I absolutely love this packaging, by the way. But the information on the box is just kind of like specialty coffee Arabica, great. Once open, blah blah blah, and then it doesn't tell you anything. So there you go. It's a meticulous combination of two stellar in-season single origin coffees. Okay, that doesn't actually tell me anything. Working with the best farms around, blah blah blah, but it doesn't actually tell me where they're from. The height or altitude they're grown from, what type of washing method. Nothing there. But I think because it's focused on this kind of homebrew kind of idea, they aren't necessarily interested in, they're going to be interested in that stuff as coffee sellers, but they're not necessarily passing that information on because they're not for coffee nerds. They're more for people, starting out. Maybe. That's what I get from the branding. However, maybe not. Maybe I've just missed something. But so all I know is this is kind of two single origin coffees mixed together as a blend from South America. Now, the toasting notes I've got from this are caramel, which is something I'm kind of interested in. Lemon drops, which is really bizarre because they're a type of sweet. So not lemon, not sugary, but lemon drops. So is it that kind of sour taste? Is it ultra sweet? I don't know. Sweet dates and almonds. So almonds, I presume, is a reference to the roast. It's going to have kind of a bit of smokiness to it. Sweet dates, I would associate with the caramel kind of taste anyway. If you obviously, like, dates are quite rich and sticky and sickly in an almost caramelly sense. As a vegan, a lot of recipes that replace milk chocolate or caramel. I know you can have caramel, but use dates, certainly cakes and things. So that seems a little redundant to me initially. I haven't tasted the coffee yet, so we'll give it a go. One thing I can tell you though, when you open up the pack, it's got this glorious kind of rich smell. It's not as strong as other coffees smell that I've kind of previously done, previously opened, but there is a richness there. Now, as you can see, the crema's not as kind of thick as other coffees as well. I've got quite a thin crema. It's not a thin crema. You can see that it's, a definite kind of bold dividing line there. And it's not dissipated. But I've definitely got more coffee out of that. More of this kind of darker section than crema. So which is usual, but usually the crema would be slightly thicker. Anyway, we'll give this a go. We'll give it a smell, and then a taste. So it smells. From the smell, I understand the reference to dates. Actually, it's got that kind of sweet, smell. Dates, possibly slightly citrusy. That's not mentioned, but there's a hint there. So we'll give it a sip. Oh, Oh, wow. Now, for all my skepticism about that date tone, that actually really comes through. There's a sweet fruitiness to it, but in that kind of rich vein of dates rather than, say, a berry or something citrusy. So I don't get citrus tones, and sweet dates is weirdly on the nail there. Lemon drops has passed me by. I don't know where that's come from. And caramel, I guess, yes, because there's a higher note of sweetness to it. Almonds, maybe not so much, but there's kind of, it's an odd one because it hits the tongue and you kind of go, oh, that's sweet, and then this darkness kind of really kind of comes through from the back of the mouth. So that is actually really quite interesting. We'll give it a go with milk. We'll try it as an oat latte, and we'll see how that goes. As a black coffee, I feel that might be quite overwhelming to have as one kind of black coffee in a go. So maybe something more milky will bring out kind of those other tones and really complement it. We'll see how it goes. I've splashed in some oat milk there. As you can see, I've thickened it quite a lot, so it's come out almost as a kind of cappuccino head rather than a latte. But it should still, it'll be fine for this kind of test. It's got a really kind of nice kind of golden colour, which is something that appeals to me in terms of what it looks like. I don't like anything looking too dark once I've added my milk. Now, at £8 for 227 grams, this is slightly on the pricey side, but you know, you get 10% off your first order, and they do kind of discounts throughout the year for various things. And if you buy a lot of other, so if you buy your oat milk and you buy a few coffees, it does tend to balance out quite nicely if you place a large order. Certainly if you're buying their oat milk, you can kind of not make your money back, but you know, that division is lessened. So I got this directly from Minor Figures, minorfigures.com. Now, you can get whole beans, which is what I would usually get, but this one I got is pre-ground. I obviously clicked the wrong thing on the website. Now, what I find with their grind is very, very fine grind, which is fine for me because I predominantly use an espresso machine. But even then I thought, you know, this is a bit fine, a bit finer than I would use in my espresso machine personally. So, you know, I had to make a few adjustments so that I got the right kind of mouse tail pour for what I would usually have. However, if you like pre-ground, great, you know, you can get a whole bean as well, which, like I say, is what I would usually go for. Now, we'll give this a go, see if I can get past this clunky head of it. Oh, there are tones there I was not expecting. I was expecting more of the richness to come out, and perversely it's the other way. There's kind of a, not a bitterness, but there is certainly kind of something, it's less, it's, the sweetness has been taken away, and then that's where I might say, yes, I see where the lemon drop notes come in. There is something slightly sour about it, and I don't mean, oh, that's sour, you know, I don't mean that as a negative. I'm just saying there's something, it's a really interesting kind of taste mixture to it, and I'm kind of, it's bizarre to put a finger on. Yeah. So, weirdly enough, I think I prefer that black, which I don't say often. I'm a big kind of milky drinker in terms of when it comes to coffee. But that's quite nice as an espresso shot rather than as a milky drink. And I got this, yeah, via the Minor Figures website. So they've got kind of a whole range of other coffees, and this is their double origin espresso. And I'd be interested to maybe come back at this, if it is seasonal, as I think it is, to come back to this at a different time. But yeah, that's a nice coffee. Just really not what I was expecting. I was expecting maybe something a lot sweeter. And there's a kind of sour note to it, a kind of tartness that's really kind of thrown me, if I can be honest. But it's a lovely coffee. I just don't know when I would have it, because I like a sweet, rich drink in the morning, perhaps something more acidic during the day. And that sourness is kind of, yeah, when would I drink that? Perhaps, you know, on cooler days. And I just want something, if you want something to kind of really kind of perk you up. Wow, that's actually kind of so different from a lot of things I've tried that I'm really kind of excited about that, because obviously once you've tried a few coffees and you've been around the block a little bit, you know, you can sort of get a palate for what you think things will taste like roughly. You're always going to be surprised on, you know, various things, but that has really kind of thrown me. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyable from Minor Figures Double Origin. So that's their Double Origin Espresso. Really lovely coffee. I love the branding, I love the packaging about it. And they've also done things during kind of this coronavirus outbreak to help support closed coffee shops. They were donating, you know, money from orders of that. So there's kind of an ethical bent beside, you know, helping people out. I don't know if they're still doing that, but I quite regularly, you get 10% off your first order if you've not ordered from them before, and I quite regularly come across discounts that, you know, that they do, like, oh, if you buy our oat milk, you know, you can get a discount on this and so on. So they're definitely worth looking at. And that is definitely something that is different, definitely a different coffee. And I'm really kind of, even though I wouldn't say it's necessarily something I would return to time and time again for my own personal tastes, I'm really kind of chuffed to have found something that is so strikingly different in terms of coffee. So yeah, nice coffee. And yeah, I just don't know what more to say. It's really kind of thrown me, that taste. So yeah, I'd have to say try it yourself. So yeah, go out and buy that, because that's cool. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and check us out at www.getbean.com for written reviews of cafes and coffee, as well as our video reviews. Thank you very much, take care, and we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.